Hey third graders, it's so great to see you again over here at Mrs. Knapp's Reading Corner. I hope that you are having a great week so far and that your digital learning is going smoothly. For today's lesson, we are going to be continuing on with the standards of RI 26. In RI 26, boys and girls, is where we look at the author's perspective and why they wrote something. We want to make sure that when we're looking at the author's perspective, we look at everything that's in our text. The title, we look at the illustrations, we look at the subheadings if they're there, we look at bold words. We use all of our clues to help us think like the author about a topic. We're also going to continue working with RI 37, which is using the illustrations or the diagrams or photographs or any other type of picture that we see in our text to help us understand what it is we're reading. Today, boys and girls, we're also going to continue practicing our relax strategy that we do as readers when we are answering a question. Now, I have a very long question. It seems like a lot, but it's just because it's on chart paper. But we're going to work through this question together, and you're going to see how it helps when we look at standards and we look at what the author's writing about as well as the illustrations to help us understand and answer the questions. We're also going to continue to use that relax strategy that we use as readers. Now, whether or not you have the text that Mrs. Knapp's going to use, you can use this strategy of the relax strategy with any text that you see, boys and girls. So we want to make sure that we're practicing that as we're going through our digital journey of learning. All right, boys and girls. So today, I have a very long question that it looks a bit overwhelming, but what we're going to do is we're going to practice this and we're going to break it down so that we can make it more manageable for ourselves as readers. So what I'm going to do first, boys and girls, is I'm going to go through and I'm going to read all the questions and then reread the passage. Remember, that's the R in our relax strategy. So what it says up here, boys and girls, it says, what does the reader understand using the information from the passage and the illustrations? So, boys and girls, today I have to work on what the information is in the passage and what the author's thinking about a topic, as well as what's in the illustrations. So that's our question for today. Here are our answer choices, okay? And we're going to look at them very carefully before we go back into the passage. So, A, slavery became outlawed. B, voting laws changed the Civil Rights Act. C, the Harlem Renaissance was a time of change that lasted from the 1920s to the 1930s. Or D, Dr. Robert Bullard did not want environmental hazards in the African American communities. So in order to understand that, I have to make sure that I go back into the passage. I also need to make sure that I look at what? That's right, the illustrations. So I notice right here, and remember I have, yes, my digital learning tool too as well, because we could all be learning on some sort of device that's not always the same as our friend next door. So I have my iPad here, and I know it might be a little challenging to see, so I'm going to walk you through what I see based off the illustrations, because this is going back in the text. So I notice I see some money here as the illustration. I see a pair of small drums that are known as bongos. Oh, and you know what else Mrs. Knapp sees? I see some food. And oh, look right here. I see a circle with a line, a diagonal line through it. And in that circle, it shows that there is a business that has the smoke coming out of it. It looks like there are barrels of yucky stuff that's around. And when I see that, I know as a reader, as with a circle and a diagonal, that means no, that we don't want that. So, I went back on the passage, but I haven't reread anything. I've looked at the illustrations, but I also want to make sure I use the information. So I see right here that the food, there's a picture of a food, and in my subheading right here, it says foods as well. Well, when I go back and I evaluate, that's my E of the relax strategy, slavery became outlawed, nothing about food. Voting laws changed the Civil Rights Act, nothing about food there either. The Harlem Renaissance was a time of change, nope, nothing about food there. Dr. Robert Bullard did not want environmental hazards. I don't see anything about food. So you know what? Since it's an informational text, I'm not going to go back there. And I know that the food picture and the food information isn't going to help me answer this one. So I'm not going to look under that heading. Oh, I also noticed that I see something about arts. And you know what jogged my memory? I see right here, the Harlem Renaissance was actually the very first part of the sentence that I saw in this passage. And I know that's one of my answer choices. So I'm going to go there and read and see if there's something there that can help me. The Harlem Renaissance was a period of change in African American literature, music, theater, and art. It lasted throughout the 1920s and 1930s. Harlem is an area in New York City where many African Americans settled. Renaissance means rebirth or new beginning, which is what most African Americans were searching for after they were freed from slavery. The Harlem Renaissance movement focused on beauty, strength, and talent of African American music. The jazz music, realistic literature, colorful poetry, and abstract art created during this period influenced American culture for years to come. So, that might be the right answer choice. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mark this one right here as a possibility. Just maybe might be, but I didn't evaluate all of my answer choices yet. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to look right here, boys and girls, where it says ecology. Let's go back, and you know what I noticed in ecology? It says Dr. Robert Bullard, and I know that's one of our answer choices as well. So let's go back and reread that. Dr. Robert Bullard is an African American professor and activist who fights against environmental racism. This is the process of choosing whether or not to put natural hazards in places where certain races live. Dr. Bullard discovered that most garbage dumps, incinerators, places where garbage is burned, and toxic waste dumps in Texas were located in African American neighborhoods. You know what? That might be another answer choice too, because I know that's here. So I'm going to keep C and D, but first let me see if I can see slavery became outlawed, because I want to evaluate every answer choice. And when I go back, boys and girls, I don't see anything in here about slavery. So it's that one, I can already say, this one is not here because it's not in the information from what I'm reading, and it's also not part of the illustration. So I know it's not that one. Voting laws changed the Civil Rights Act. Let me see right here. I do see the Civil Rights Act, so let's check that one. It also protected the rights of all minorities. The Civil Rights Acts of 1964 paved the way for better relations between people of all races and helped be treated as equals. So BC. Now, I do have the information, and I know that all of these are here in this text. But am I done? Nope, because I also want to make sure that I review RI 37, which is the illustrations. So let's see if my illustrations, do I have anything where it shows me in my pictures of voting laws change Civil Rights Act? Nope, not that I see. So you know what? It's not letter B, because the information is there, but it's not also from the illustration side of it either. All right, so now I'm going to look at letter C. The Harlem Renaissance was a time of change. I don't see anything that's a timeline on here or showing me that it's changed. So you know what, boys and girls? That one is also not. What is my only answer choice left? What was that? In the back? That's right, letter D. And you know how the information provided by the text itself, ecology, as well as that picture. That circle with the diagonal cut through it, that's telling me no. So the information I read about Dr. Robert Bullard, as well as the actual text itself and the illustrations, support that answer. So letter D is your best answer to come up with what the information and passage told me. So boys and girls, when you're working through your text, remember to not only just use the relaxed strategy, but also use the information that's provided by the author as well as your pictures. It was so great to see you again today, boys and girls. I hope that you have a great rest of your week and take some time to read a book for yourself. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.